is quite happening decade, especially if you keep in view the role of disrupting technologies, which are playing a role in management of everything from household to the institutions. So we need to learn new skills. For example, we are attending this webinar. This is something new for me. Only this year I learned this. This is a new skill. So we have to skill ourselves and we have to enhance our skills that we have, and we have to find out what are the new skills that we need to learn to give good learning to the students. Good teaching is all about caring, nurturing, and developing minds and talents. And for that, every step that you take is appreciable. Teaching process is generally of three phases: either pre-active phase where you plan, then interactive phase where you interact with the student and conduct and management the class, and post-active phase where you follow up and find out how much output has been given by the learning. Such capacity building workshops or such faculty development program, they always definitely pay in enhancing the skills and in building up the capacity of the teachers. The other important component is the research, and research is something which is very important for an academic institution. It is a lifeline. And when we talk of research, then we all know that there's a need that we must innovate to stay ahead, whether it is industry, whether it is academia. Industry, they are doing their part, and academia can play a role in giving information to the industry by following innovations which we call external innovations, which can come from different parts. It could be university labs, it may be private ventures or CROs, where we do some useful research and the things are transferred to industry so that the things come in the use of the society. We need to learn about the new technologies. I just mentioned a word, disruptive technology, where we, in pharmaceutical sciences specifically, if I talk, then we need to be aware of artificial intelligence-based tools which are being explored at every stage of drug discovery and development, say from research data mining toward target identification and validation. We have expanded chemical space for drug discovery, where we can go for hit explorations, and it is playing a very important role in small molecule drug delivery. Then there are new arenas like targeting RNA with small molecules. It is a hot trend in drug discovery. Though there are a lot of uncertainty, but it is very difficult to target RNA. Then there is a scope in discovering new antibiotics. We all know about antibiotic resistance, superbugs, and we all know about the drying up pipeline of the novel antibiotics. There is a lot of scope to do in this field. Phenotypic screening in research playing a very important role. We all heard about organ on a chip kind of phenomena, where we have microchips which are loaded with living cells, which will replace all the animal testing, will make it in vitro kind. We have bioprinting, that is 3D or 4D printing, where we can make human tissues and organs. So these are the new trends, and we need to learn about these trends. We need to skill ourselves in this, in these trends. Research as such is something which is much required entity. Even government is emphasizing research and innovation. And if we speak of national education policy, we all know that there are provision of national research foundation, where a lot of funding will be provided to those institutes which will do good work in research. So that basically being set with a vision in transforming India into global knowledge superpower. And what our Honorable Prime Minister say, that what we have to do is we need technology to transform, we need education to empower, and we learn to lead. These three attributes we have to acquire, and we have to enhance and own these attributes. So keeping in all this mind, when we talk of new trends in research or in as such in the field of technology, the new evolving technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, artificial augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality. We have cognitive cloud computing. All these playing very important role. And what we need to do at this juncture is we need to identify these areas where we need to learn new skills or enhance our old skills. So the concept of learn, unlearn, and relearn will play a very important role. And if we keep all this in mind, then yes, we will find that this the theme of this workshop is very relevant. I congratulate the organizers again. And just to mention that education is a fire to lit. It is not a vessel to be filled. Future relies upon critical thinking and problem solving. I congratulate the organizers for taking this novel step, organizing such a good faculty development program. And I'm quite sure that participating faculty will learn many things during this faculty development program. 2 days are already over. This is the third day. And I wish that all the learners, they participate with total devotion, dedication, and sincerity, so that something good comes out of this faculty development program. My heartiest congratulations to the organizers, and I'm thankful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to request our principal sir to please give.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. First of all, I want to thank you for accepting our invitation on a short notice. And your words are very true that today we need capacity building in our all the teachers, whether they are freshers or whether they are. Thank you very much once again for giving your time, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I would like, we also would like to present this certificate of respect, token of respect, say, for you. It's on the screen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Now moving ahead towards the first technical session of the day 3, I would like to introduce our first speaker of the day, that is Dr. Amber Vyas. He is working as assistant professor in Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur, and has more than 15 years of teaching and research experience. He is recipient of Bremen Fellowship for postdoctoral research in USA in 2015-16 and received also travel grant from Grant Cell of UGC and from ICMR for presenting his research work in international conference held at Italy. And he's also working as head drug information center Raipur and also received Young Scientist Award in 2010. He has been awarded with research project and funding of about 1.5 crore, which includes the only project in state till date from BSc on nanovision and nanotechnology grant of rupees 82 lakh and projects from UGC New Delhi and CG COST Raipur. And sir has to be spread about 75 research and review publications in various national and international journals of review, with cumulative impact factor about 50, and contributed about 7 book chapters and authored and co-authored about 4 books. And he is also an active member of various administrative and professional bodies. So I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
And again, welcome you, sir. In our college.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. A very good morning to Professor Ranjit Singh, sir, the chief guest today, the organizer of the program, Dr. Shailesh Sharma, Dr. Kumar Gaurav, and the other team members, Dr. Bhavna, Dr. Ashwini Dhingra, and Dr. Ajmer. So today I am going to present my lecture on insight into teaching learning process. So let me share my screen first. So insight into teaching learning process, as we know that I should say everybody here is a teacher. So first of all, I have thought when I got the invitation, I was thinking to speak on research, because it is a program of capacity building on teaching, learning and research. But I thought that nowadays the funding has been a bit slow as compared to the previous time. So then I thought of speaking on teaching learning techniques, but recently when I was joined, and I thought that the speaker previous to me has covered a lot of the things which need to be discussed amongst ourselves. Then thought, okay, we are pharmacists and we have a science, because if you compare ourselves with a normal people who doesn't know anything about pharmacy, so he think, okay, this is tablet, this is capsule, and so on. But he don't know the science behind that. That why for a particular molecule a tablet is made, or why for a particular molecule a particular formulation dosage form is made. So it is we that we decide, or depending upon the factors, we decide that which will be the appropriate dosage form for that drug. So same, and along with the pharmacy profession and pharmacist, we are teacher in the profession. So we are being designated as a teacher in the profession. So I thought that we should look how this teaching process is being evolved, how this teaching process is being evolved, and what is the science behind that. Because when I was doing my PhD, from that time only I started taking the class, and till now we are taking the class. And we have everybody as a teacher being connected here. They used to take their class and they used to innovate there. But frankly speaking, I didn't give any thought on teaching, learning, evaluation. That what is the process, what is the science behind that. So I thought to share my views today with you. So we together, all of us will learn about teaching, learning methods. And so there are two famous proverbs with which I want to start. The first one is the Chinese proverb, which tells 1,000 teachers and 1,000 methods. Means every teacher has its own method of teaching or communicating with their students, and the two teachers are those who help us thinking for ourselves. This is why our great teacher of India, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. So again, welcome you. So here we start. So as when you talk about a teaching learning process or evaluation of that process, the first thing or the first person is a teacher. So we'll see how we look at teacher. So teacher who teaches us, encourages us, activates to do us better. He is a constant companion who is always with us every time. If he is highly committed, or he has to be highly committed, he is ever ready to help us, and he reaches us, or he help us in reaching a high position in the society by making us a fine personality. So today we are teachers, but everybody who is teacher now was a student, and we each are associated with our teachers. Some problem. So what is teaching? As we all know that it is a process of interacting. In a short verb you can say that, or we can also say that it is a method by which we used to engage the student in the activities related to learning that will enable them to acquire the knowledge, skills, and as well as work values and attitude. So this is how we think the teaching is. But nowadays also you can see that it is a process which never stop learning throughout our life, or you can also say that it is the exchange of ideas between the two brains. So for teaching to be effective, the two important ingredients which are considered in teaching learning evaluation process is careful planning and constructive alignment. So if you want to, or if we want to teach, we have to do a careful planning, and we have to make a constructive alignment between all three parameters of teaching learning. We'll see, that is learning, teaching, and assessing. And the former, that is the careful planning, is a special and it's reliant on smart learning. And the outcomes and the latter is connectivity between these two strategies. This is the basic principle of constructive alignment between teaching and learning. So as we know that nowadays, everybody, we are in the midst of COVID-19, and you can see that, or you can see that at your home, or even at your neighbor's home, there are children who are being taught by online mechanism, especially if we talk about the school going students. So we can see that there are a number of new things the teacher are doing. Most of the things we know, but we generally we don't try them with our classes. So this is the era to learn. So there is a golden triangle. So between all these or between all these teaching methodologies, which will show you that teaching learning activity, it's dependent on the assessment. So when you are teaching or learning, doing any learning activity with your student, you need to assess them whether they are getting or not what you are delivering. They should be capable of getting that. And assessment, again, it is assessed based on the learning outcomes. So as all of you might be aware of that PCI has given us a new syllabus, and in that syllabus we have objectives of the syllabus. So for what is the use, we'll see in the coming slide. And there are learning outcomes or learning goals. And again, this learning goal is dependent on teaching learning activity. So this is the golden triangle for which we need to make an alignment or a balance and improve each other to keep this triangle in position. So learning outcomes, as we were discussed that there were learning outcomes. So what do we mean by learning outcomes? So previously, around about 1999, if we start from the second one, Bingham said that learning outcomes are explicit description of what a learner should know, understand, and be able to do as a result of learning. So this was the thinking behind the principle behind long back in 90s. But in 2001 or from 2001, it has been thought of that learning outcomes must be such that, or there should be the statement of that, that this is what which is expected from a student that he will be able to do as a result of learning activity. So now what you say that in various courses learning outcomes are given. So learning outcomes are given means the student who has done that course is able to do or perform that activity after the getting into the course. So this is what the learning objective is, and this is how they are designed, and not they are designed, but they are thought of getting the students with that idea. So I'm getting my voice, I'm getting some trouble in the voice. So I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm getting that my voice is not there. So there are clear expectations are set of students. Teaching has a specific focus. Appropriate matching strategies for teaching and assessment are chosen. Help to keep the teaching focus on the student learning, and student-centered learning is developed. So this is all. What are the main things which should be kept in the focus? It should be kept in the focus while we are designing or while the teaching strategy is designed. So what do you mean by teaching approach and teaching strategies? These are two terms which are generally taken as synonymous, but they are not synonymous. We'll see that. So when we talk about the teaching approach, so it is a set of principles, beliefs, or ideas about the nature of learning which is translated into the classroom. Means you can say that this is how a teacher approaches to a learner and transfer his or her knowledge to him, for which he is expected to learn that activity when the course is completed. While strategy means it is a long-term plan. So how you are going to achieve the target. So it is a long-term plan of action and which is designed to achieve that particular goal. So teaching strategy, you can say that, or we can say that the teaching strategy is a pre-plan which is executed to the approach to reach the goal. While here So what is the teaching process? So all these are based on the teaching, all these are integrated with each other, and they are connected with each other. So teaching plan, so when you make any teaching plan, you have to, so we should be very careful while making the teaching plan, because this execution of this plan will give us the results. So first the teaching plan is made, which is implemented, and seen that after implementing the teaching plan, the learners are evaluated. So they are evaluated on the basis of test, or we say it is an examination. We say it is an examination. Then we get feedback and reflection from that method. So whether our plan was okay or not. In case if feedback and reflections are not as per the desired goal, then again we need to change the plan. In case if plan is to be okay, then the implementation technique, that is the teaching techniques, is again evaluated and implemented, or there are some changes are made, and then again when the teaching is done or when the implementation technique has been redesigned, again they are evaluated. So this is a continuous cycle based on which the teaching method has been improving nowadays. So as I was talking previously, we are seeing the different methods now. You may also aware of number of teaching classes like ODA classes, Byju's classes, and Whitehead Junior. So why the students are taking interest in them? Because they are first planning how to attract the students, how to make them feel like that they are not, it is not a forced thing. So they are involving that, they are making a plan, then they are implementing on a set of students, what is implemented on a set of students, to see whether the response is there or not. And at the last, if students are taking interest, it's good, but whether they are learning or not, which is the primary goal. So again, it is being evaluated by giving them a task. So online task has been given. So if you ask your student, your son or your colleague or your students to write, so they are taking less interest. Previously in the class they don't write, and some of the students don't have the habit of writing, but now they had, but it doesn't mean the student doesn't know. So evaluation is done on the basis. Right now we are circulating the Google forms or one-line questions or one-line answers or MCQs to our students, and evaluating whether what we have taught them is being going with them or not. We are able to inculcate the desired skills in them or not. So this is how we need to change it, the evaluation scheme. And again, feedback and reflection will give you about the idea how the scheme is being executed. So this is the process or phases of teaching. So generally there are three phases of teaching as a standard method, that is pre-active stage, interactive, and post-active stage. So in pre-active stage, the goals are fixed and the content is fixed. So again, from where the goals are fixed, goal are fixed from the learning outcomes. So what we want, that how the student should, what the student should know about after completing the course. So first we fix the goals, then the content, whether the content what we are delivering or what will be delivered to the student is good enough to catch up that goals. Then decision about the strategies, then what strategies, if they are all okay, then what strategies we are going to follow for the teaching. When this strategy has been designed or a primary format of the strategy has been designed, then it comes the second stage, that is a interactive stage, in which the diagnosis of the learner means what type of learners they are. They are slow learners, because in class we have all type of the learners. There some are fast learners, some are start learners, some are slow learners, and some need to motivate for the learning. So we need to diagnose the type of the learners, and based on the types of the learner, again we have to remodify our strategies for, or focus our strategies for all types of students, that is for the fast student, for the medium students, and for the slow learners. Because if you will not do that, again the learner or the mass of the learner which has been not focused will not pay attention. So again, a diagnosis of the learner is done, and then action and reaction. Then action and reaction is noted, whether they are enjoying, whether they are taking part in not. So through the group discussion activities, 1 minute questions, jigsaws, there are not n number of methods by which we can take their or note their actions and reaction. Then the stage 3 is post-active stage. Again, this is what we call as exam, that is devising the appropriate testing device. So sometimes if you are testing or post-active stage, if we are using a method which is not appropriate to evaluate that whether the particular student has get knowledge or not. So in that case, we need to design a appropriate testing device. So right now you may heard about a tool which is being very common, as it is a free tool on internet, that is Kahoot. Kahoot is a tool in which what you teach, okay, and you have to make a multiple choice question in that. So when you download that tool in your mobile, and you will circulate after teaching or after completing the given assignment in the class, if you float the question, so you have to give an OTP to the students, and every students will get that questions on that, and there will be there is a facility of giving the time in that question has to be done in a particular time. After that, it will become inactive. The student will take part, just like Kaun Banega Crorepati. We have seen that the audience are asked the questions and they used to use their mobile or the device given to them for answer any question. So this is how the Kahoot works. So again, students will enjoy, and after all the result has, after all the task has been done by the students, you can see a graph on your screen. So this graph will show that what is the response time of the student, who was the student who has given the maximum number of the correct answers, what was the right answers. So all these cumulative graph can be seen on our screen. So when the students will see that graph, they will enjoy, and from next time onwards, they will be more interactive, they will be more attentive, and they will do it this activity very nicely. Then feedback and testing, when you take the feedbacks, because for all the mechanism we need a feedback. So here also, being to the different bodies like NBA and other bodies, they need a feedback from the students, and every institute who are willing to get accredited, they have to follow these systems of getting feedback. So then you will get a feedback on a particular system. Sometimes the students may not like the strategy what you are following. So in that feedback, if a proper analysis of the feedback is done, then again you will find that okay, the students are not enjoying this or not taking not participating through this activity, then we need to change the other activities. You need to devise an other activity. Then by continuous assessment of feedback, you will able to learn you will able to get, or you will able to understand the mentality of the students who are coming with us, what they want. So we can improve the teaching learning methods by that. So this is what the learning phase given by Philip W. Jackson, and it is the latest teaching phase which is being followed right now for developing the teaching strategies. So planning phase include So I'm sorry for the disturbance. I thought I got a call from the organizer, so I attended. Kindly excuse me. So planning phase include. There is some problem in the slides. Give me a second. There is some problem with my slides. I'm not able to see all the content. Give me a second, then I will start it again. So I would just like to request Dr. Dhingra. So I'm getting a large bar on my slides, and because of that, I'm not able to get the proper content. Is it possible to shift that bar of Zoom meeting to somewhere else so I can get my content very easily? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So is there anybody who can help me out in this matter from technical side?
Yes, sir. What happens?
I'm getting a bar of Zoom meeting on my slides, and because of that, I'm not getting my full content.
So you again exit your share screen and again.
Okay, I need to share it again.
And share it again, sir.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience, but due to a bar on my screen, I am unable to get my full content. I will do it again.
Now it is okay, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Thank you for
Okay, sir. Okay.
helping me out. So planning phase. So again, there is a planning phase which include decisions like the need of the learners. So when we are planning or making any strategies, we need to consider the need of the learners, what the learner want from us. Then the achievable goals and objective to meet the needs. Then what are the goals we want to convey through a particular assignment or topic, and what are the objectives which we are thinking that the student should get after doing that course. Then selection of the content to be taught, again it is very important, because if you are setting some goals or objective that a student should know after attending the course, but the content is not up to date, so again the content need to be up to date. And for this, and this strategy is new, what we are following here in our country, but this strategy is a old strategy which has been followed through the globe. So previously, uh, all the teachers are here, and are most of them, I think, my senior or junior colleagues, or they are my fellow colleagues. So we don't have any objective and goals while we were studying the subject. But recently, the council has given a new course in which the goals and objectives are clearly given. And meeting to that goals, the content has been given initially, and the council has still has proposed to contribute all the teachers, because still the content, there are some problem in the content. So as a teacher of a particular subject like pharmacognosy and pharmaceutics or other biotechnology, we know that there are some problem in the content. The content is not as, it is not a streamlined content, or sometimes we find that in certain subject the content is not meeting the objective. So council has already initiated or has taken an initiation on the website, and requested all the teachers to give the suggestion, so which will improve the content of our syllabus. So this is how we can see that again it is a planning strategy or decision which include the selection of content which is to be taught. So it should be sufficient enough to meet the goal. Then motivation to carry out the goal, approaches to fit the carry out goals, and evaluation process to measure the learning outcomes. Now still the evaluation process and measure learning outcome has been given again in the new syllabus. If you will compare my slides with the new syllabus given, so now you have seen that the journal club has been included in our syllabus. Student discussion has been given included in our syllabus. Also marks for student teacher has been student teacher interaction has been put. So the internal assessment, that is of 25 number we used to take, so it is of 15 number is on the examination, and 10 number has been allotted to the student teacher interaction. So because of what, how the student are interacting with the teacher. So this is how, all about, or all has been done on the basis of this planning phase, in which these steps are taken to design any syllabus curriculum to meet the objectives. Then consideration which should be taken in the planning is the learner, because all things are done for the learner. Until and unless we don't consider the learner in the planning, our objective could not be met, or the aim of the course is not defined. So we should consider the learner. So what, so considering the learner means what is their learning capacity, how we should taught them so the maximum they can learn, how we should involve them so they can take part and learn by their own, because we have a mature learner, they are not school going learner, they are college coming learner. So again we have to design a new strategy. Availability of the material, so apart from the literature, what else we can give them? So the first thing is we can give them the environment. Second thing, we can give them the opportunity to speak, because number of teachers, when they are taking the class, and after taking the class, if they think that okay the students are not so active, so they will teach okay what I have taught them. So okay, the student will answer your talk, so we'll invite one of us to come on the board and solve this particular thing. So this is how you are getting the students into the learning process. So what are the materials, what are the chances, what are the opportunities we are providing? So again, that should be considered in the planning. Time requirement for a particular activity, again, it is a very important thing, because our course is a time bound course. We have to take 100 days classes for the new syllabus. Previously it was 90 days class in order to cover that particular. So whether the time required for that particular activity is enough or not, because sometimes we see that if we are not able to complete the full course, okay, so it has been the things has been with us a number of times. So I just like to share that when we were having the sessionals, internal exams, and if there are 8 units in the topic, so generally it was half of the things should come in first sessional and half of the things should come in second sessional. So there are 4 units in the sessional. So because of that sometimes we are not able to cover all 4 units, then we thought, okay, this unit will study in the examination, and we used to leave that unit in the sessional and do better with the 3 out of 4 the allotted units. But I could never read that 4th unit throughout my course. So I think this was the experience with some of you might be also that. So once we leave that unit, or if the time is not sufficient, you will not cover that activity. That activity or that unit will not be covered throughout the course. So again, the time requirement is very important. Strategy need to achieve the objective. Again, teaching strategies, what we should follow, we'll see in coming slides. Teaching studies, what are the teaching study, whether it is a teacher-centric study, whether it is a student-centric studies, which are needed to design to reach the objective. So now the third phase, that is implementation phase. So design has been made, consideration has been taken. Now how to implement the strategies? So based on the objectives, implementation means to put the action, to put into the action the different activities in order to achieve the objective through the subject matter, means how we are going to implement those strategy through our teaching techniques. So we have to make a plan and accomplish that plan. We have to take different teaching style and strategies which should include all these phases or the things in these phases, means whether we are delivering the lecture, whether we are using a PowerPoint techniques, whether we are delivering a particular topic in a unit and asking the student to participate in that. Okay, come learn tomorrow and come, we'll discuss that. So what strategies you are planning? So these all are included under the implementation phase. Now coming to the evaluation phase. So once you have designed the thing, you have allotted the time, you have implemented the strategy, but whether the last person, that is, or the gainer or the stakeholder, which is students, whether he is able to gain that all these activities what we have performed can be assured only through the phase, that is evaluation phase. So for evaluation phase, the objective and learning outcomes will be matched and answer the question and the questions for answers if the plan's implementation has been successfully or achieved by evaluating them through a particular technique, by taking their test, by giving them multiple choice questions, by asking them to present a particular topic. There are n number of evaluation phase we can use, and by this evaluation strategies, we can come to know that whether the learner has gained that particular skill or not, or the objective of the course has been fulfilled or not. What is the objective of the course? The objective of the course is the students or the learner is able to know, not only know, but to understand and make others understand that and implement the things what has been taught to him, and which ultimately can, and if the student is satisfied from the teaching strategies and evaluation strategy, there will be a feedback mechanism. Through that feedback mechanism, we can come to know about whether the strategy what we are following is good enough to interact with the students, or we need some corrections. So based on the feedback, we can again refine or redesign our planning. So there are some basic assumptions which we need to be carried out during this. So the first basic assumption is that teaching is a goal oriented with no change of behavior is the ultimate end. The teaching is a rational and a reflective process, and teachers by their reaction can influence the learner to change their own thinking or desired behavior. Thus teaching is a way of changing behavior through intervention of the teacher. So for any particular goal or objective or learning, the student have its own ideas, but it's not always right that he has a correct idea. So through teaching methods, it is the duty or involvement of the teacher who will influence his learning by teaching the student to make and have a desired idea or thinking on a particular topic by changing his behavior, and this is all done by intervention of the teacher. So teacher has been an important part, considered as an important part, because although if you will make all the strategy, you will design a strategy, you will design a goal, you will design a timing, but until and unless the person, that is teacher, who is executing that, if he is not able to get that thing or convert that idea into the knowledge, then it is worthless. So again, the intervention of the teacher or the approach of the teacher is much more active, much more required, and much more important. So what do we mean by good teaching? We say that, okay, this is good teaching. So good teaching, we can say that one that is well planned and where the activities are interrelated with each other. So teaching which is well planned, the students are aware what they are going to be learned. The teacher know that what he is going to teach, how he is going to teach, and how he is going to evaluate that whether what has been taught to the student or the learner has been inculcated into them or not. So this is one way by which we can say that the teaching is good, or it goes beyond the recall of the information. So again, when we recall the information in coming classes, so once it has been executed properly, it can be recalled any time during that tenure. One that provide learning experience or situation that will ensure understanding, application, and critical thinking. These are the things which need to be think upon now. So what we are teaching, the student is understanding that thing. Not only understanding that thing, he is able to apply the things in his coming time, or he should logically link that one course or one semester with the another system, or for example, we have divided the number of subjects. Okay, in first semester we have pharmacology 1, and so in one semester we have pharmacology 1, and in other semester we have pharmacology 2. So pharmacology 2 has a higher knowledge or skills as compared, but in pharmacology 1 we have a basic level, we used to teach at basic level. So this is how he should able to connect, and he should able to develop the critical thinking. These are the goals which a good teaching should involve. One where the learner is stimulated to think and respond and apply. Again, good teaching means again the learner should be activated, motivated, that he can think by his own, and he should able to reply and apply both things. Means he should know the reasons. He should know the reasons how the process is going on, and he should apply that things what he have learned in the coming time. So we can say learning is a process. To teach is to make someone learn. So to teach someone is not just giving or delivering the lecture. It is, you should design proper studies that the learner or the person who is on the other hand is learning that thing, he is getting that thing, and he can apply those thing in his coming time. So adaptation of KWL or KWHL, it is what I know that, knowledge. That is what I know that, what I want to know that, and how I can find this information and what I have learned. So if we focus, or if the focus will be kept on these four letters, then we can design a good strategy, we can design a good outcome. So what the learner, what I know means what the learner know. So here our learners come from school levels. So what they know, by we know that what is their course, so what is their level of understanding, what they are know. What I want to know, वो क्या जानना चाहते हैं about the subject, what they want to know about the subject, what is there in our subject, what are the goals. So we how I can find those information means here the teacher is instrumental to get the information about the course, how they can get the information or how they can get the course. That is again the course content which what we were talking about. It is good enough to to reach the goals. And what I have done, that is examination process. After the teaching, the student the teaching is complete, or the semester is complete, or the given task is complete, the students are evaluated what they have learned. The learning, we are talking about learning. So we'll see that what is learning. It is defined as a change in an individual behavior caused by experience or self-activity. So learning is when a student is doing any course or learning any activities. So there should be a change in the behavior of the learner about that particular things. His perception should be changed, which is behavior caused by experience or the self-activity. Experience means by continuous learning, and self-activity is approach of doing that thing. Implies that the learning can only happen through the individual activity or his own doing. So again, he should be confident enough that what he have learned, he has participated in it. He has just not framed things. He got the idea, he conceived the idea, and now he's able to apply his ideas, and it can be unintentional or intentional. So these are the basic level of learning we think that we can see while we are interacting with our students. So rotate, the ability to repeat something back which was learned but not understood. So there are a number of learners which can be of this type or which are in this step. So whatever you have taught them, they will tell you back at the same time. You can say that these are framing of the things. So it doesn't mean that they have understood, but they have grasped the thing, but they have not understood it. Now the second step, when you will able to listen the things or you will able to revise the things, the second level is understanding. So it is to comprehend or grasp the nature or the meaning of something. Means it is no need to frame or recreate the things word by word. Just you need to, the learner need to understand the ideas. Then again, the next level of learning is application. What has been understood by a learner, he should or she should be able to apply that. That is the act of putting something to use that which has been learned and understood. Unfortunately, what is the system? The system is learning the things, writing things in the examination, and then doing the job, forgetting the applications. So which is the missing. So now the new education policy has a special focus on this activity. So learning does not means that it is a guarantee of job. Learning is a process. Every individual has to do it, and it is not that it should not be not taken as a just a job guarantee. So when but it should be taken as the application part. Now the last part of learning is correlation, which is about the application, assessing that what has been learned, we should able to, or the learner should able to assess, understood, and applied with previous or subsequent learning. What has been what he knows previously. So what increase or what percent of increase has been there in learning of his or her learning. So it is these are 4 steps: rotate, understanding, application, and correlation. Now coming to teaching strategy. So according to Stan and Morris, teaching strategy is defined as generalized plan for lesson, which include structure, instructional objective, and an outline of planned tactics necessary to implement the strategy and achieve the desired goal. So previously we have seen about the approach. Now we are seeing the strategy. So we'll see that what are the strategies we used to follow. So they are generally divided or classified as autocratic and student or democratic. So autocratic means teacher centers, in which the teacher used to do the activity just like storytelling or telling the lecture, tutorial methods, giving demonstration, and lecture methods. So these all activities, they are autocratic or teacher centered. While democratic or students centered activities, which are now being more promoted, that is discussion method. Once you taught the thing, now there should be discussion. Discovery method, based on the discussion, what new you can or what new learner can do it, that is discovering thing. Heuristic method means high discovery, means there might be a few learners among the learners who can do very good. That is high order of discovery they can do, or their high order of correlation they should make. They are able to make about that. Then project method, giving a task to them, either individual or either in a team. So which will again increase their involvement and the learning ability. And the brainstorming means it will provoke them to thinking more on that idea and not to be the job seekers. They should be the entrepreneurs. That is a bronze study. So this is what the strategy is now being followed in the education policies. That from teacher-centric studies now we are, or the persons involved in policy making, they are more focusing on, or they are more studying on students centric activities. And now, but now we are in the middle of that. That is teacher. There is a blend of teacher centric and student centric. So once it will be student centric, then we can hope that there will be more involvement of the students. Then there are 3 principles for the selection and the use of teaching strategies. We should know that the learning is an active process, and we have to actively engage the learner in learning activities if we want them to learn what we intend to teach them. So this shows that these are the general principles. We see that. So when we take the lecture in the class, or when a teacher takes lecture in the class, if you are just seeing towards the board and not involving the students, you will find that after some time the students are not taking the interest. So there should be every time the learner and the activity in charge or the teacher should engage the learner throughout the activity. So we see that what are the ideas, how we can see that there are some research. We say that how you can engage and what are the best methods to engage the learners. So research show that 75% retention rates in learning by doing, means if you give some certain task to any student or learner, so he will retain the 75% out of that, and 90% retention in the rate of learning by teaching others. Means if he learn the thing and we teach to other one, or he will make understand other, there will be more chances of retaining that. Apart from that, this is again a graph which shows that if we see things, we remember by 75%. If we hear the things, we remember 13%. If we touch a thing, we remember 6%. If we smell, we run 3%, and if we taste, we remember 3%. So sight is again important. So that now video lectures, PowerPoint presentation has been more instead of that chalkboard method. Again, we can say that we can remember 5% of what we hear, 10% of what we read, 20% of it hear and read both. So if we hear and read together, again there will be more. So this is how the teaching strategies apart from school to college is being followed. 30% of what I'm shown. So apart from hear and read, if you show the activities either in the form of a video, or the flipped classroom is one of the example of that. So again the activity will be 50%. In 50%, when the student do or has his or her involvement, that is on discussion. 75% of what he does, when he involved and start doing it, he will get 75% of that, and 90% when he start teaching others. So this is how the involvement is being increased and the method is being evaluated. Another the principle which is based on this is WARK, which is known as VARK. So WARK means visual, oral, read and write, and kinesthetic and kinesthetic. So WARK is another questionnaire which provides the way of understanding. This studies route being follows on the schools, and it is a school level, and now also some teachers are taking that, and based on that, again the new material has been designed for making the student understand. As we know that, so you can see in the graph that this learning style or communicating style are there. So if we see the things, we will remember the more. If we hear, again we will remember the more. And if we discuss, again cumulative impact of seeing and discussion is more. Then it will read and write, again it will increase. And kinesthetic means again it will do the things by our own, by involving the student, means kinesthetic. Or you can see that there will be more performance or more activity of the receiver will be there. And this is how we consider that the methods of teaching are being evolved. These are the key features of teaching strategies. So when we try to achieve some objective by any one method, it becomes a strategy. So if you want to achieve any objective, so we need to make a plan of that, and it becomes a strategy there. And if there is always a continuous improvement in the strategy by a feedback mechanism, which we have seen that. So this is how they are in education method or science of education. So it is a combination of different methods, because every time the strategy may not be good, it may not give the results. So again, we need to change the strategy based on the feedback or examination by evaluating the students. It's a continuous process. It is a macro approach. It is considered as a science, and its purpose is to create the conductive learning environment. So always by changing the strategy, we can create the learning environment which is based on the modern theories of organization. That is, we have seen that is work is one of them, and the behavior of teacher and student and their mutual relation is a important aspect. So above all the strategies, all the methods of learning, the important thing is the students between the teacher and student, their relationship, how they are interacting with the teachers in the class. So again, when we are designing any strategies or any strategy has been designed for a teaching, these things are of utmost importance, which you cannot control by any strategy. It is the involvement of the teacher and towards the student, and involvement of the student towards the teachers, how they are participating or helping each other, and what is the level of understanding between each of them. Until and unless these two factors, because these two factors we can say that they are uncontrollable factors. Rest all the factors you can put a bar, you can make a course, you can design the objective, you can design the strategy, you can design a feedback, you can design a implementation strategy. But this strategy or all these mechanism will not reach to the goal until and unless the uncontrollable objects or uncontrollable things like teacher and students will take part in it. So it is on their shoulders. So how whether the strategy will go on or not. So as we have seen that it should be smart, so it should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be realistic. It should not be like that a hypothetical strategy there, and it should be time bound, because every learning should be of time bound. You cannot keep on, even we say that learning is throughout process, but it is a different type of learning. For a one learning, you should allot a time, that this is the time by which we should get the objective. So this is what the smart learning for teaching is there. Now there are two concepts. There are a number of concepts, but I have discussed only two concepts which were very popular for designing the teaching learning evolution process. The first concept is known as BEM concept, that is beginning, end, and middle. So what does principle state? This is state that beginning and end of every presentation or every class or every learning are more readily remembered than the content in the middle, and this is also known as the primary effect. So this has been founded. So all of the techniques which has been implemented nowadays, so they found that the beginning of the presentation and the end of the presentation are readily remembered. And what was the thought behind that? The thought behind that is initially when you present and think, it is initial. So the learner take the interest in them. So he grabs it very quickly. But if the strategy is not good, if the middle portion is not good, again it will not have an impact of the child. And again the end is very good. So again, if you design the strategy like that, so these have to impact, and this principle is known as primary effect. Does the first 10 to 12 minutes and the last 8 to 10 minutes of the presentations which are known as regency effect are optimum period of learning. So what we have to do is, so when you are taking or when a strategy has been designed, तो क्या बताया जाता है? First you should tell the student, interact the student, get involved. Today we are going to learn these things. This is the objective of the learning, and in the nutshell, these are the methods, or these are the outline of the program, or these are the content of the learning what we are going to learn today. And at the last, again we will repeat the same goals, that today we have taught this. आज हमने ये पढ़ा है, हमको ये gain हुआ है, and just involve the student by asking them the questions. So this is how the same concept generally most of the teachers used to follow in their class, which is known as beginning, and middle. Means the teacher taught about the thing what he is being teaching, then in the middle he will keep continue or elaborating the method, again by asking the question to students or involving the student by asking the question or giving some task, or again by repeating the things which has been taught initially. We can increase the learning amount of the students or the knowledge of the student. The second model is PAR model, which is known as present content, apply content, and review content. So it is just like that, but it is another way of thinking, or it is another model. So present the content. So whatever the content has been brought, it should be presented to the learners. apply the content, then there should be some time given to the learners to apply that content by giving some tasks, small tests, and review the content by assessing the content, what the application has been given or what the exercise has been given. It is again review. So see that whether the model is working. It is another successful model which is being adopted for the teaching techniques, and these are associated with set of induction and closure, that is P, effective question and active learning, and effective assessment techniques. So all these three things are again very important, which are primary parts of this PAR technique. Means that induction and closure means again you need to induct the student, tell briefing about that course, and you need to do very good closure of that what you have been taught, whether the student has been understood or not, because everybody has a different grasping power. Inducting means starting the course, and closing the course, the important things should be highlighted. Then effective questioning and active learning. Then in order to involve the active learning or involvement of the student, every time the questioning should be there. In between they should be asked. And effective assessment strategy, again what has been taught, it should be assessed with a strategy. It should not done. We should not think of the candidate which should have been on the study. Like the fact that is why MCQ, small number of questions, or assignments, or flipped classes, or jigsaws are given, or card studies has been done. Especially in the study, if anyone of have gone through the course like GRE, TOEFL, or preparation of CAT. Initially, they at my time when I was done, they used to give card systems. So they will write certain words on the card. When I was preparing for GRE and TOEFL, so they used to give a cards. So in that card, they will give 5 words, and you have to use that 5 words throughout the day. They will tell the meaning because they have different meaning. So this is how, this is not completely that you should take the test for the complete assessment. The assessment can be very particular, which is pertaining to the goal. That what was the goal, what was the thought, and how much the student has got that or the learner has got for devising any technique. So there are certain innovative techniques nowadays. What we are talking initially, there is a famous saying from Confucius: "I hear and forget, I see and I believe, and I do and I understand." So again, all the principles, all the teaching techniques, they are based on that. If you hear, then there is a monologue in the class. The student cannot or the learner cannot take it for a long time. They will forget after some time. See and believe. So nowadays the teaching technique has been increased. They see and view PowerPoint presentation, flip class, video classes, interactive classes. All these see and believe means they will more involved in that, and it is easy to get them for that concept. Then I do and understand means if they are involved, if there are certain models of if they teach, if after completing a study, if they will do their thing or demonstrate the thing to the other student, they will understand at a greater level. So these are the methods which are being followed in teaching. Apart from there are n number of methods, but these are the 4 basic methods. There is telling method, which most of the teachers used to be lecture method, discussion method, and storytelling. Doing method means project method, problem solving, textbook method. Visual method means demonstration. Now, due to this pandemic, number of teachers has evolved themselves and has shifted to the visual methods by making the video of the things, by using the interactive board. And the best example is that everyone of have seen that Facebook video of Khan sir from Patna. He used to tell about geography, his special subject is like geographical conditions and the new things which have been. So he used to adopt this visual method. This is, you can say that this is the one of the best example of visual method. And mental method, that is which is inductive and deductive, and which involve analysis and synthesis. So these are the 4 basic methods for teaching which are being adopted, or amalgam of any 2 or 3 methods for more better result has been adopted by these online courses like Byju's, Akash, and Oda classes, and so on. So technologies in teaching and learning process, advances in technology have profounded the effect, the way we can learn and the way we can teach. So we can say that it is a branch of knowledge which deals with creation and use of techniques and their interrelation with life, society, and the environment, drawing upon such subject, industry, art, engineering, applied science, and pure science. By the use of technology, we can increase the process or the cane which is being important. So this is how the progression of technology has been taken from chalkboard to the recent initiative technology. Previously it was chalk and board, then transparency and slides, which I have done in my masters and most of you might have done. From blackboard we have taken from whiteboard, marker, PowerPoint presentation. Then web-based learning in some of the schools, e-classrooms, video conferencing, new technology, and now we are in the era of wireless technology for of learning. So this is how the evolution of technology took place. So it is just like that for a unknown person who is not related with our profession. He think that okay, this is tablet, this is capsule, and they few of them know about syrup, but there are n number of doses from what we know about it, how they had been evolved. What is the I know today we are talking about novel drug delivery systems. So there are some hurdles which cannot be covered through this novel normal traditional delivery system. So we are talking about new delivery system. So as in teaching, from blackboard technology to innovative technology. As we are teachers, so I just want to interact or discuss with you how the technology has been evolved and what is the basis behind the evolution of the technology. What are the models which are related and how the new technology has been being developed in different institutes, and why, and because of that e-classrooms or web-based learning has been coming into progress. So these are the slides which show that a dynamic method of learning. There are a number of learning methods which most of the teachers might be using. We see that the last means, even though I have seen that a large number of teachers from pharmacy profession, they are doing very good and they are adopting the good techniques or new techniques for teaching and learning. So I appreciate them and I used to like them whenever I see that, and I also request you people to like them and to share their slides. Don't think that okay, I'm teaching biopharmaceutics and I found a one very good video on biopharmaceutics, so I should not share with my student. No, you don't think that. You should appreciate, and by this we will also learn and the student will get. So there are a number of teachers who has, even two of my students from my students, they have started their own YouTube channel and they are teaching very good in my state, which is from Pharmacy Solution. Their channel name is Pharmacy Solution, and a lot of number of students are being enrolled with them, and they are trying very good strategy. They are taking very small things, just but they are part of our syllabus. But generally we don't highlight or focus on them. So how to see a script? What does the content on the script mean? They are relating juries with the schedule. So if you see, they will take some formulation, and it was written it is a schedule age drug. So okay, this is red color, this is yellow color. So what does this mean? So this is how they are relating. And you might also, I believe that most of the teachers here also, they are taking or they are involved in this type of activities. So this saying, if you cannot learn the way you teach, will you teach me the way I can learn? This is what the students today's generation is that. So this is very good generation. They are very high interactive people. They are very knowledgeable people, and students sometimes ask that if a single teacher cannot teach all the subjects, they are master of their subjects, then how we can expect a single student to know all the subjects? So this is a question on the teaching methodology, and because of that, everyone of we know that there is a evolution of a new education policy which is being implemented, and we see that hope we can see a good result of that new policy. And I think we are the people, means people of my age and your age, we have seen a drastic change in the education. So previously, or some of us were going to the school where only blackboard was there, or might be possible there. Even there was no blackboard. The teacher used to just teach by the book. From the time our children's, and we are also participating in the online learning classes through mobiles and through different virtual classroom like Google Classroom, Google Meet, WebEx, and so on. And I thank you for your patient hearing. And I think that you might, as the topic was not very interesting, but the reason behind that I have taken the topic is that, as we know that what are the dosage forms and how they are evolved, and normal people doesn't know. So because we all are in the profession of the teaching, so we should know that how that teaching is being evolved. So what does we do? We just adopt the technology. So just I have talked about the technology, that Kahoot, which I have used with my students. So where I got this technology. So from where I got this technology, I got come to know about this technology when I has done a online course uh, on MOOCs by ISER Pune. So they had done an online course on ISER Pune. So where we have seen or I have learned that Kahoot. And after coming that, doing that workshop of 7 days, I just introduced two, three teachers of my colleagues. We have introduced that technique in our class, and we found a wonderful response from our students. So even though I want to talk more on that internet school, but as the time limits, I am already very late. So I'm ready for if anybody has any questions or any discussion or any suggestions related to what we have discussed today. They are welcome. Over to you, the technical expert, Dr. Dingra.
A very good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. Ajmer Singh, on behalf of Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, Yamunanagar, and College of Pharmacy, Bela, would like to thank Dr. Ambar Vyas for sharing with us his valuable opinion on teaching learning process. Sir, you have significantly highlighted various aspects of teaching learning process. It was a very informative session. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, you are honored from our college with the token of appreciation. Please accept it, sir.
Thank you so much.
Ashwini sir, please share. Rohit sir,
Done, sir, done.
Thank you so much.
okay sir, thank you sir.
And I would like to extend my hearty thanks to both the colleges, Bela College and both the co-organizers, Dr. Gaurav, Kumar Gaurav and Dr. Shailesh Sharma, and all the team members of them, that is Dr. Ashwini Dhingra, Dr. Ajmer Singh, Dr. Chopra, and many others to whom I am not familiar with. And I would also like to thank all the participants for their patient learning. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all. And here it is
Thank you, sir.
one
Thank
of
you,
the,
sir.
and here it is, I would like to say that here it is one of the example. So previously we used to have our certificates after the end of the conference or the talk, or sometimes there were no audience, or you used to get it by the post. But this is one type of the learning or involvement or evaluation in the learning, that right now the certificate is with you. And I hope that it has been mailed or sent to the resource person just as a time. So this is how we are learning because of this. Uh, Now the learning is not because of we are trying to do it, it is because of the situation we have learned a lot. And I hope so that every teachers, they are taking, they are learning these new techniques, and they are learning and delivering best to their students. One more thing, the last thing I would like to highlight, that most of you might be aware of the one of the course that is Swayam. It is on AICT portal. So only one teacher from pharmacy, that is Dr. Ajay Simalti. Most of us are familiar with him. I also know him personally. So he has launched a few course on that. So I invite or I like to highlight or I like to have the attraction of all my colleague teachers who are here to develop that course, to see that Swayam portal and see that what best they can do. So once they will make their courses, because every teacher, whether he is from a private college or a government college, they can apply for that course and they can make the course. And if the course is wonderful, because I know that there are a number of teachers who are better than anybody in the field, and they can devise new course and they can post their course as the new syllabus has came. And in final semester, you know that there are 10 subjects, and we all know that as a teacher that which are elective subjects. So there is no person, there is no faculty in the colleges who can teach all these subjects, or there may be exception in that. So there is a very bright chances that the teacher should take all these 10 elective courses of the final semester, and prepare a course and launch on that portal. And I'm very hopeful that it will be very beneficial for the students and for the teachers too. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants. Next, we will meet at 2 o'clock for the next technical session by Dr. Farooq. Thank you all.